tracks today.
Yeah. I need them bands, run it up fast, stuffing them shits in the safe. Got me a spot out the way, nigga just tryna be safe. Leaving the house with the glizzy, nigga.
Let's get into the sports talk.
Into the playoffs.
Into the playoff. Win 42 to 45 games. If they can be that 9th, 8th, 7th seed in contention, because as Kevin Durant starts to feel a lot better, which he will, in 6 months. Most people that I've talked to, physical therapists that I've talked to, doctors, 6.5 months, Kevin Durant will be 100% healthy. Now, when they go on to the basketball court and play in NBA games, that will be determined later. But as Kevin Durant gets healthy, the team is swinging into playoff form. That be to me with Kyrie, and I've been to a lot of Nets games. I see how they cheer. I see how they do all kind of dances on the side. I saw the type of chemistry that they had with the coach. When the coach chooses out a guy, man, they support the coach's decision. So I've seen this. So I need the team in the same position because I believe they are good enough that they should be able to win 40 games. And the overall chemistry, he's going to be responsible because KD can only do so much being injured. And I believe that both of them are very...
Yeah, like once he come back, he ain't going to automatically just go back how he was. Don't get me wrong, he still can shoot the basketball well. He still going to have players around him to hold it down till he like fully into it. So he have his legs under him. Yeah, he going to be 100% when he come back, but he still got to get, used to being back on the court. Like, fill it out. Like, is it well? Is it good enough when I dunk the basketball? Like, it's all that gonna go through his mind too, though. But the way he can score the basketball ain't too much to worry about. Then he got a good point guard go along with him, and a good center, and another good backup center. Like the team is good by the time he come back. It's a good situation for everybody on that team. Like the culture still established right there for Brooklyn, and it's a different culture for everybody. Like it's gonna be coming together soon. Like once everybody on the same page.
Very important. They can't win 30 games and then they say, something? We'll see Kevin Durant in 2020. No. We'd like to have the pressure of, is KD going to come back potentially for the playoffs, which I believe is real.
So I'm going to put the expectations where you have them, but just a bit higher. Because when I saw this question this morning, I thought about, okay, let's just pretend Brooklyn ran it back. That they didn't get any major free agent. Mm-hmm. They kept D'Angelo Russell, their young roster. They'll have Karis LeVert. They would hope for a full season after he dealt with that serious injury. They won 42 games last year. Wouldn't we be saying they should be 45, 46 wins? That they should be a little bit better, a young roster? Let's say they added DeAndre Jordan as well, as a little front court depth, which they did do, obviously.
Right. I'd like to be careful with that. I would say, man, I think that they can duplicate it, but even if they got to 42 wins, I think that, something? I think they're a better team because they're second year together. So I think it's reasonable to say 3 to 8 win.
Since that young team had success to make it to the playoff, they know what to do to get there now. They're going to be eager to get there now. And then they add on 2 superstars, so that's taking them to the next level for them. Like they could go deep because the players they got 2 champions on their team. So it learn experience for them. Like, oh yeah, they got players on here that know how to go far and win it all now. Because Brooklyn going to make the playoffs this year easily to me. Because it's the different players they have on this team. Like when you got superstars on your team, it make everything a lot, smoother a little bit. Then you got the hungry people around them that go along with them too. And it's going to be a good team. Once KD come back, it's going to take the team here. It's going to be a different thing for everybody on that team. Some players might not get that many minutes, but they can be one a part of it because Brooklyn could do some things this year. But how the East is open on the East to me.
Yes, but even if they were the same, they were going to be a better team.
Right,
yes.
but now they've got a player better than D'Angelo Russell.
True.
Now they kept their core. They re-signed Dinwiddie, LeVert's back, Jared Allen's back, Joe Harris back. We know all this, right? So I think in the East this year, even if Kawhi leaves Toronto, I think the top 3 teams are going to be in some order: Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Toronto. Toronto showed over the last few years, even last year, they can win games without Kawhi Leonard. And so those should be your top 3 seeds. Then there's 4 teams: Brooklyn, Indiana, Boston, and Miami with the addition of Jimmy Butler. 4, 5, 6, 7 in some order. What did we see in this year's playoffs? First round. Home team won every single round. You know what mattered? Home court in that first round. In fact, this year's playoffs, after the first round, there were only 2 road teams that won a series. It was when Portland upset Denver in 7, and then Toronto won 4.
Yeah, it's best to get home court in the playoffs because it's hard to win on the road in any type of sport. Like, you get that home playoff advantage, it helps you out a lot more. It helps you be ready to go on the road and win some games in a 7-game series. And Brooklyn have the team to do it.
Straight against Milwaukee. Home court matters in this league. So for Kyrie Irving, after last year saying, I'm just focused on the playoffs, just wait, get me to the playoffs, here would be something, if I were one of Kyrie's close, advisors, I'd say to him, here should be one of your goals. Be better than Boston. Beat Boston. Boston had 49 wins with you. Brooklyn had 42 wins without you. Are you worth 4 wins in this league? Is Boston going to take 4 wins back? You're going to go 4 wins forward? Then you'll be ahead of them. Can you get to that 4 line so that it's a home playoff series in Brooklyn to where if KD comes back, it's like, hey,
that would be hot.
Now all of a sudden, what 1 seed wants to face Kevin Durant if he were to come back with Kyrie Irving? So those to me are tangible goals. And then culture-wise, which I know is something that's important to you, Jenna, but also important to the NBA, set a tone for the young players so different. You do to take one of your lines, the bizarro Kyrie from last year. Whatever Kyrie would have done last year, do the opposite. When it comes to the young players and creating not even creating a culture in Brooklyn, because they have one. Perpetuate.
You never know. You saying get to that 4 line. What does Kevin Durant come back 100% playing like he was in Golden State and get through to like a 2nd seed or a 1st seed? You never know what can happen. Like everybody predicting it's gonna be the Sixers and the Bucks as 1 and 2. We don't know because the East is still open to me. Anybody could get to that top seed and had home court advantage all through the playoffs. Like, Brooklyn might be one of them teams.
Continuing the culture that was there before he got there.
That's a lot to ask of Kyrie because I felt like Boston had better players, supporting players last year around Kyrie than clearly the Nets are going to have next year. So all of a sudden you're saying, be better than you were last year, be a better leader than you were, be better to the young guys, set a better cultural template. That's a lot to ask a guy who's coming into a new place, whether it's home or not home. Do you think Kyrie can do that?
One thing, I'm just going to believe in Kyrie because you don't have all the agendas that you had in Boston.
Yeah.
You had a lot of pressure outside. You have Tatum coming off the playoff.
Yeah, it's like in Boston, it was too many egos there to me. Everybody wanted to be the man of that team. Nobody wanted to take a back seat and choose winning. Everybody want to be the scorer. When everybody want to be a scorer and want to be the man and don't want to take a back seat, all this collision going to go on. Like, you're not seeing eye to eye. You're not going to play well. You're going to argue amongst each other, probably like in the locker room. In Boston, it was just too many egos there. And everyone wanted to be that man.
Run that he was on. He was in the offseason working out with Kobe Bryant. I heard people on TV. I almost said something. I'm glad I caught myself. But they said things like, one day this guy's going to be an NBA scoring champion. So they fill his head with that. Jaylen Brown's trying to fight for respect. Gordon Hayward, he's got an agenda with the coach. And the coach's agenda is to make sure that this guy looks good, who I recruited from high school. Kyrie does not have to face that. And he picked this team. He did not pick the Boston Celtics. So all those things, they're hard when you are trying to become a leader. When you are in the shadow of LeBron James, you force your way out, you get into a situation that you realize that, you know something? I know it says I'm in the deep water, and I've swam in deep water before, but it's a lot different when people are expecting you to be the captain to be able to calm things down. So I think Kyrie Irving learned an awful lot. He pulled off the biggest coup in free agency, and that's pulling Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant was going to the Knicks.
Right.
And Kyrie Irving's leadership, or whatever you want to say, convincing him to come to Brooklyn with him, I'm going to give Kyrie some credit and give him another opportunity because
by them being this close, they was close. So Kyrie said, I'm going to Brooklyn. Come with me to Brooklyn. We could create something there. We could take Brooklyn to the next level if we team up.
Still a young as far as leadership. And I believe leaders, there's some born, but there's also some developed. And I believe that's where Kyrie Irving is right now.
And if there's ever a moment where someone's going to change, grow, and mature, he is in the perfect situation for it. Not only because he picked Brooklyn, not only because this is the first place since Duke he's been able to pick. He's coming off his first sports failure of his life. He didn't fail at Duke, he got hurt. Each year with the Cavs, before LeBron got there, they weren't good, but they got better each year. Then LeBron gets there, they make an NBA Finals, but he gets hurt. He doesn't get to play in them. The next year, they win the championship. The next year, that Cavs team was even better. They just ran into the Durant Warriors. Then he asks out. Boston's playing great, and then he gets hurt. Last year was the first year he's healthy, he has real expectations, and he can't deliver. Can that humbling moment, plus being able to pick the spot, plus playing with the guy he wanted to play with, that he got to pick the city in a team where there aren't those other agendas, guys aren't waiting to get paid, guys aren't waiting to prove themselves at the way it was in Boston. If that doesn't cause maturation, if that doesn't cause growth, then nothing will. So I agree with you.
Because he around a team that's hungry to succeed in the playoffs. Everybody want to win. Most of everybody on that team willing to take a back seat to elevate and have success. Like in Boston, you ain't had that. You had everybody want to be that man. When everybody want to be that man, you know that was a disaster. You know y'all wasn't going to win anything. So he had to go somewhere when people who know how to take a back seat to succeed and win championships.
I don't think we should close the door and say Kyrie's going to be this guy. Now, I think he's going to be an odd guy on the internet. I think that's who he is. But as far as in the locker room, I think he can be better in Brooklyn, and Brooklyn expects him to be better, especially while they wait on Kevin Durant.
All right. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show.